What I believe is this: God is the unknown. And Christianity, like every religion before and after it, was just one generation's attempt to name the infinite, to give form to the formless, meaning to meaninglessness. That's not evil. That's human. That's what we do. We name things to make them feel smaller. We narrate the void to feel less alone inside of it. But Christianity made a mistake. It didn't just name God. It claimed God. It said, only through us. It said, only this story. It said, believe what we tell you or burn forever. And once you attach God to fear, control, and politics, you no longer have a God. You have a product. You have a brand. You have a pipeline of obedience. But here's the thing. Information kills fear. And fear was always the fuel. That's why the early church didn't want you to read the Bible. That's why they crucified question askers and heretics and mystics. That's why they still fight evolution and science and history, because every new truth exposes the old myth, and they don't have the courage to keep going. That's the difference between the believer and the overman. The believer clings. The overman moves, because information breaks the spell. Information exposes the lie. Jesus Christ is not coming back. He is 2,000 years late. He is not coming because he never was. He was not the Son of God. He was a powerful myth written in the empire and now weaponized against reason. And no, your delusion is not sacred because you call it religion. If you cannot prove that a man resurrected from the dead without saying the Bible tells me so, then stop telling people they're obligated to respect your fantasy. My beliefs were forged in fire through loss, through reason, through seeking. Yours were handed down and shielded from scrutiny by law. That's not faith. That's cowardice. And the people are done pretending that we have to tiptoe around it. Listen, if Jesus gives your family hope, honestly, that's beautiful. Keep your ritual. Keep your story. But do not confuse the tool with the truth, and do not weaponize that story against those of us who are still bold enough to go looking. The overman does not see God as a figure, but as a frequency. Not as a man, but as a mystery. Not as a rule book, but a rhythm. The overman isn't an atheist. He's something deeper. He doesn't reject God. He rejects the lie that we've already found him, because we haven't. We are standing on a rock in an infinite cosmos, pretending like we got all the answers locked down in a creed from 2,000 years ago. That's not faith. That's cowardice. That's intellectual sedation. God didn't die. We just stopped looking. And if there's one thing I know about universal consciousness, about the infinite unfolding we're all a part of, it's that it doesn't care what story you believe. It only asks that you keep moving, to keep seeking, to keep pushing the edge of what's possible. And that's the future of God. Not one name, not one book, but an eternal question that only the brave still dare to ask. We live in an era where no major religion has emerged in over 1,000 years, not because the mystery has been solved, but because we've stopped asking questions big enough to demand new answers. There's a silence of new gods. In the axial age, people looked to the stars and saw gods. They didn't have access to satellites or DNA or telescopes, but they had wonder. They had fear. They had the courage to create stories that could carry generations across the void. Their myths were maps, guides for navigating the unknown. Religion, at its best, was a tool for traveling through uncertainty with purpose.